The views on a Breath of Fresh Air podcast reflects the parties involved, and we encourage you all to use it as a conversational tool that will lead to personal studies of your own.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Welcome to a Breath of Fresh Air podcast. Here with your hosts, Earl Roberts and Nakhaz Gay. As a young person, Christianity can be so foggy, like smoke in the mirrors and so unclear. But we're here to bring you a breath of fresh air.
Uriah, nice to have you back. How's the war going? How is Joab doing out there?
You know, we're doing good. We're making some advancements. The Ammonites are putting up a good resistance, but you know Joab, our general, he kind of knows the thing, man. So everything's going good on the battlefield, King. But King, why did you bring me back?
Your report has come to me that you're a pretty good fighter, and I just wanted to reward you. So, go down to your house, wash your feet. I have a surprise. Yes, I have a nice, special surprise waiting for you.
It's pretty weird that the king brought me from battle. Go home? How could I do such a thing? My men are out there fighting against the Ammonites. I can't be here just sleeping at home with my wife. How's that gonna make me look? Man, something's up. Maybe because I'm a Hittite. Nah, I ain't gonna fall for this trick. I'ma sleep right here on the floor. Good one. They ain't gonna put this on me.
He didn't eat any of the food that you sent to his house. As a matter of fact, he didn't even go home. He slept here with us.
Uriah didn't go home? He didn't eat any of the food that I gave him? Okay. Uriah,
Yes, King?
did you not come from a journey? You should go home, relax, spend time with your loved ones. You're back in town. I did this from time to time. Just go home, show your family, your loved ones, your wife maybe, show them a good time, and then we can prepare you to go back to war.
But King, pardon your servant as he speaks. But the ark and Israel and Judah abide in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in open fields. Shall I go down to my house and eat and drink and lie with my wife? King, as thou liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I shall surely not do this thing, King.
He's a tough cookie. Wait here today and tomorrow, and I'll let you go, okay? Just spend 2 more days in the city, then you're free to go back to the war.
All right, King, I'll do that.
Throw me a feast tonight and make sure you bring all of my best wine.
Yes, my king.
King, this is a good party you throw in here.
You like the wine?
Oh, King, it's so good. We don't have wine like this in the field.
Whoa, Uriah. I think you've partied a little too much. Let's get you home, buddy.
King, I'ma just crash on the floor.
No. Servants, see to it that this man goes home.
All right, let's get you home.
No, I'm asleep here. I can't go home. My guys are in the field.
I know what I have to do. Uriah the Hittite, it's been a nice few days spending time with you.
Pardon me, King. That party was good. I'm so sorry about my actions.
No, you're fine. Now, because you are a trusted servant of the king, I am trusting you to send this message. It's of grave importance. And I only brought you here because I knew that you are faithful to deliver this message to Joab. So here's a note. Make sure this goes to Joab and Joab only. Can I trust you with that?
You can trust me. No one will see this note but Joab. I won't even read it. Thank you for entrusting me with this important task, my king. Tell me if this scenario sounds familiar. You made a mistake, some would say a really big mistake, and instead of owning up to it, you try to cover it up. And the more you try to cover it up, the more things seem to spiral out of control, until you have no option but to confess. Like us all, at some point in our lives, King David found himself in this very predicament. This week we are focusing on 2 Samuel chapters 11 and 12. As always, be blessed and enjoy. All right, welcome back to another episode of Breath of Fresh Air.
My name is Nakhaz Gay.
Earl Roberts, live in the studio.
Yep.
Technically, we're not live, but I just always wanted to say that. All right, so we definitely appreciate everyone for tuning in this week. Again, this is episode 104, if I remember correctly. And yeah, we're going to get into a pretty interesting story, a well-known story, in fact, comes from 2 Samuel chapter 11. We're going to do chapters 11 and 12 tonight, but it's David and Bathsheba.
Yep.
I always say Bathsheba. I don't know where you got to get that from.
See, but Bath is so easy to remember given the circumstances of how he met her.
You think that was planned?
I just, like, stuff like that, I just wonder if this works outside of the English language, bro. Like, these questions, like someone just was talking about how, like, and this is super tangent. This is a wild way to start off. But someone was the episode, but someone was just like, I see a video there's like, bro, like witchcraft is in TV, bro. You staring into a black mirror. And what is it called? Television. How do witchcraft speak? They tell, you see what I'm saying? And I think about it, right? And I say, bro, okay, I wonder if whatever country created the TV, if that would work in their native language, bro. Because like phonetically, these stuff always work in English. But if this is a fact, like this is a universal thing, I believe it should work in other languages. You feel me?
But then, like, some people say, like, your name should be your name no matter which language you're talking.
That's true. But like inanimate objects like this,
yeah,
they have it. It's like it changes.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree. Well, that's a tangent start this episode. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that. So this week, we're brushed for time. So weekly thought, man, God's grace is sufficient. And that was just something that I had to be reminded of this week. Even when you're down on yourself, even when you think you're inadequate, you're incompetent, God's grace is sufficient. His love is sufficient. His love is never ending. And that's one of the promises we have in the Bible. That's one of the things we're reminded of through Scripture. And we see it play over and over and over and over again through every story that we go through. No one's perfect. No one in the Bible is perfect except God, except Jesus. And we see even in this story, we're gonna get some grace from God, but yeah, man, God's love and His grace is sufficient. It is enough. It is enough for you, no matter which point of your life you're in.
Amen. So we got a one John Park story, like, and I can't lie. And this has been something that we couldn't wait to talk about. I feel like
exactly.
You know, like how we'd be in the middle of a story, right? Let's say Samson, for example, because I'm just thinking someone else in a relationship.
You really like Samson, you know?
No, like I feel like that's the easiest person. No, I do like Samson,
just
but I think that's the easiest person for me to continue to pick on. You feel me? Like it's easy for me to pick on. Like I can pick on David to some degree, but then I could get a lot of pushback. It's like, no, but he did do this, he did do that. Now Samson, I could use him, but what I'm saying is like we might be talking about, let's say, Jacob and Rebecca or something, right? And you might want to reference someone later on in the story, and you say, we can't wait till we get there in the Bible. I feel like we've said that about David a lot, especially this story right here.
I mean, because, well, David was so far down in the Bible. I mean, 2 Samuel, we really get into the story. We was talking about him from Genesis, and, we ain't got to look because he's coming up with,
Yeah, now.
I would like to know if he write any Psalms after this point, or specifically in this point. I did not check that before.
Yeah, no, I think Psalms 31, creating me a clean heart. I don't know if
I
you're
think
familiar
that
with
was,
that.
yes.
Yeah, I
That's a
can't
whole
remember.
psalm.
Right, I can't remember if that's Psalms 31, but that the song, it's in the 30s, somewhere around there. But he definitely made that during the time of this. You know what
I
I'm
do
saying?
remember someone saying that. So,
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to start reading 2 Samuel chapter 11. It happened in the spring of the year, at the time when the kings go out to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with him and all Israel. And they destroyed the people of Ammon and besieged Rabbah. And, we talked about Ammon last episode and the Ammonites. But David remained in Jerusalem. So you see, David sent them out, but he remained in Jerusalem now. Then it happened one evening that David arose from his bed and walked onto the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman bathing, and the woman was very beautiful to behold. So David sent and inquired about the woman. And someone said, "Is that not Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite?"
Giving a whole profile, bro.
Then David sent messengers and took her, and she came to him, and he lay with her, for she was cleansed from her impurity, and then she returned to her house. And the woman conceived, so she sent and told David, "I am with child."
That's a lot. So basically, if we remember last story, right? Nahash, his son, what was his name? I can't remember his name, right? I can't believe it was just last week. But anyway, his son, caused the war between David and the Ammonites.
Hanan.
Right? I can't believe I was going blind. I could have just went back one chapter.
That's all I do. I ain't gonna
right? But so David, as a king, this is literally the time when kings go out. You understand what I'm saying?
And he just went out last chapter.
Last chapter, he was definitely out. But now he is not out. And just want to make a point of, because everybody's familiar with the story. Like, I'm not even going to talk as if, well, most people, but I'm not going to talk as if this is something brand new. But when you are idle, bro, you know what I'm saying? When you are idle, you got to be careful, man. Like,
What that person tell us growing up.
Idle.
The devil find works for idle hands.
Right, idle hands, the devil playground or something like that. Right? Something like that.
Fish fry.
Right. And so, like, you see David, he's supposed to be on a specific mission, but he is not. It's almost similar to when, some people believe, like, I'm not going to just come and say this is true or not because it's not specific in the Bible, but some people believe that Eve and Adam, they split. You understand what I'm saying? You read Patriarch and Prophets, Ellen White gives commentary on that, but they were not to leave each other's side. And because Eve was alone, the devil was able to do that. Jesus was in solitude in the wilderness after 40 days and 40 nights of fasting when the devil came towards him. And then when you go back, even going back to Adam and Eve, bro, you can see dialogue between Eve and the serpent, but no dialogue from Adam. This whole time, was he just quiet? You know what I'm saying? Like, it gives reason to believe that she truly was by herself at the time. You know what I'm saying? Different story for a different time. But David is not where he's supposed to be. For what reason? We don't know. You know what I mean? But that's how you just get yourself in problems.
Yep.
Like, be careful, little eyes, what you see. As a child, we used to sing that.
And we see David. And so now think about it now. You're the king. You ain't where you should be, I mean, really and truly, because you're supposed to be with your men, leading them in battle right now, because at the point in time, the battle wasn't that decisive of a win when this story happened. So he was supposed to be out there still leading. But he went back and stayed in Jerusalem and said, okay, yeah, you guys can handle the rest of this. You don't need me there. And so the part that also gets me is that he asks, who is this woman? Who is she? I see something, I really like it, and I want it. That's the part that get me. I want it. So now he's saying, who is this? The report comes back. Oh yeah, who in the bottom was like, who your people is? She get back who her lineage is. Also that she is married.
Yes.
And the Bible makes sure to point it out. David knew she was married.
Yes.
Did not stop him. He say, okay, that's all fine and dandy. Come here, I want you.
I need that. Bathsheba?
Quite literally.
I need that.
So comes, and so this would be like a contentious point, right? So people are like, did David rape her? Did he not? And you said this before the pod too. It's like, even if he brought it in as like power, it's like, how you phrase, like, it's almost like he since the king is like, you almost can't say no.
Right, like she didn't have autonomy over her body to say yay or nay. You understand? This the king, but it's like when we were in school and they would teach us the definition of date rape. You could be in a relationship with this person. You could like them, you could want to have sex with them, just not right now. You saying no, they persist. Date rape. You understand what I'm saying? Or if somebody drugs you, X, Y, Z. I'm not trying to trigger people, but the fact of the matter is, what needs to be there is consent. With the absence of consent, it leaves room for a rape accusation and for people to speculate based on that. Now, what we don't know is if Bathsheba gave consent. But consent or not, because David was the king, he was able to get what he wanted without that. Now, up until now, we don't, period. Everything we know about Bathsheba, we don't have not one piece of evidence that she initiated anything. The woman was taking a shower.
Exactly. And then, so here's the thing too. So now you gotta think about it. We know David had multiple wives at this point, outside of Bathsheba, because she ain't even his wife at this point in time.
Right.
So you have multiple wives, and this kind of gets into the story we're going to get into next week, but it shows how, like, man, when you have the lust of the flesh, there's nothing you can do to cure your urges, man, because when you operate in the flesh, you just operate in the flesh because you have multiple wives, bro. And quite honestly, outside of your wives, you could have anybody else in the whole city who ain't married.
You could have a sister, you could have a cousin. See, my thing is, number one, you got Abigail. The Bible already says she fine, bro. You understand?
Quite literally.
And so, bro, it's like
Nabal's wife, babe.
Nabal's wife, by the way. The wife of Nabal. Yeah, so
he has a pattern here.
Yeah, facts. But you can become insatiable, bro. Like when you lack discipline, and I see that in my own life, bro. Truthfully, that's why I was gaining weight so fast, bro. And that was a part of the sermon too. I said, bro, cause like me, like bro, I can tell you how much times like I sneak to get a midnight snack in the fridge. You probably hear me in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh yeah, I need that. I was thinking about this cookie dough, what you put in there, and you don't want to bake these cookies for nothing, man. You see what I say? Like, but I need that. You feel me? Like, and it's like you lack self-control because you never tell yourself no. This week I went to the gym. I bought a membership to the gym, and it's the first time for the year I went to a big gym. I was just going to the apartment gym the whole time. But this the first week, I deny myself, bro. Like I felt like I didn't want to go to the gym, bro. I didn't want to eat healthy, but I forced myself to do it. And that snapped something in me, bro. Like that got me like motivated and amped up. You know what I'm saying? Like I was trying to go to the gym on my lunch break. You know what I'm saying? Like I trying to sneak to the gym because like that really excited me because I overcame a hurdle. Yeah. And a lot of times you don't even know how close you are to being like to a breakthrough or just to being locked in. But it's like it just seems like this wall or this addiction or this whatever mindset you have, you can't get over it, but you definitely could, especially with the Holy Spirit.
That's a fact. That's a big fact. I mean, because here's the thing. So like, man, I got into like at least a discussion with someone before. Like, at what point did David sin in this thing? Did he sin when he saw? Someone's like, I can't sin by what I see, and my thing was like, okay, you can make that argument, but let's play along, right? Not only did you see her, but you kept on looking and you started to lust.
Yes.
That is where the sin started to creep in.
Yeah.
Because, okay, I walk outside and someone they're running naked. I literally can't stop myself from seeing that.
Right.
But now where I would start to sin if I say, bro.
You start to let it marinate and then you start to have thoughts,
your
right?
eyes lock on. You just see him doing. You just start to like think the thoughts now. Because like they say, that this is where sin starts. It don't start in the actions. It starts in your mind.
That's a fact.
And so now you're like, and that's where David started to fall. Because think about it. He saw her. He observed her. He loved what he saw. That he said, okay, even after he walked away, bro, who is that?
He had to find out, bro. He had to get the report card on this one.
Exactly. Bro. And so like think about how much time elapsing, bro.
Right.
Even if, who is that? Oh, okay. Who you talking about? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so that's Eliam's daughter, Uriah, the Hittite's wife. Oh, okay. Yeah, bring her here.
Right. And that's. And you know, I make a joke at the beginning of the report. David was like, I need that or whatever, right? The man had to see her. I had to get a report. He had to send someone to get her. She had to come. Bro, you have so much time to think, bro.
Think this through.
You have so much time to think this through, but from the fact that this one of your brave warriors, bro, a man loyal to you, bro, right? You know that. You know Uriah the Hittite. You know why? Because he is not an Israelite. If you had just said John Doe or whoever, right, you have to do a lot of digging, bro. The Hittite or the Hittite who in Miami, like, it ain't too much of that. You feel me? Like, you surrounded by Israelites just statistically, bro. And it's like, number one, you see another man, wife, bro. And you like, I don't care.
I literally don't care.
I literally do not care, bro. Like, for real. And your actions show that even though you might not have verbally said that, that didn't mean nothing to me. From you to say, like, because, like, think about it like this, right? You know, growing up, you might like a girl. I talking about me very young, right? You might want to talk to someone, but then you find out, oh, there's such and such little sister. Oh no, I ain't playing with that because I know he's crazy for instance. He's very protective of his little sister.
Exactly.
So because you don't want to get in no problems, you like, I can leave that alone. You see what I'm saying? Some people do whatever, but like, they don't care, just like David. But David, you notice a married person, you know in the law, bro, you being a married man yourself, you should understand what the implications of that would be.
Exactly.
And so because of that, this is intentional now. You can't, like, to me, you can't rationalize that he slipped. You feel me? Like,
no, a lot of forethought, a lot of red flags that we see in today's day went off when he just ignored all of them because, again, he was operating the flesh and he wanted what he wanted.
Yeah.
Nothing else, no logical rationalization was going to get through to him because he was already like, the devil already caught him in his weakness.
Yeah.
And he was going after what he wanted because it's so funny because, like, when we operate in sin and we operate in the flesh, we try to get away with things. So if no one is going to find out about what I'm doing, then what's the harm?
Yeah, so what's stopping me from doing the right thing?
Exactly. And the funny thing about it is, I mean, I guess he's the king, right? But you still got to go send people to bring this woman to you. So obviously people already know, like,
yeah.
But when you're the king, and so we see he lay down, he lay with her, for she was cleansed from her impurity, and she returned to his house. So you see afterwards, she was like, okay, I need to like do a little bit of cleansing for what just transpired, and I'm gonna go back home. But then the whole wrench got thrown into their plans when she said, I am with child. So now David, verse 6, he sent to Joab. Remember, Joab's out there leading the army, saying, send me Uriah the Hittite. And Joab sent Uriah to David. When Uriah had come to him, David asked how Joab was doing and how the people were doing and how the war prospered. And David said to Uriah, go down to your house and wash your feet. Go. So Uriah departed from the king's house, and a gift of food from the king followed him. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with the servants of his lord, and did not go down to the house. So now we see in David trying to cozy up to Uriah. David knew what he just did. Uriah don't know what's happening. All Uriah saying, hold on, I am here and in the middle of a war going on, but you just sent for me, so something's up. But he ain't really thinking of it. And so, but then you see David's like, hey, go to your wife. Trying to cover up what he did, because now if you sleep with her tonight, you could always say a child is yours, and then no one gonna find out because it all gonna make sense. If even after you do this, I could send you right back out to war, and we could always say, yeah, Uriah came home for a night and did what he had to do. Yep. But we see Uriah is an honorable man. So we see word got to David. So in verse 9, but Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord and did not go down to his house. So in verse 10, when they told David, saying Uriah did not go down to his house, David said to Uriah, did you not come from a journey? Why did you not go down to your house? And Uriah said to David, the ark and Israel and Judah are dwelling in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open fields. Shall I then go to my house to eat and drink, and to lie with my wife? As you live, and as your soul lives, I will not do this thing.
So, you remember when Joseph was with his brothers, right? And he keep giving Benjamin special treatment because he's kind of just testing the
heart of the brothers. The
heart of the brothers, right? Every time I read this, I feel like Uriah was like, no, king, you ain't gonna set me up and look at me like I am no, bro. I can't do that. Like, number one, you can see this a noble man, loyal man. You understand? He sleep at the door, bro. Like, you ain't even gonna say I abandoned my men for nothing, bro. Like, just to have a good time. No. The job ain't finished, bro.
And think about it too, bro. I'm a Hittite. Why are you trying to like capture me in this type of way? You say I ain't loyal to the Israelite cause. I just trying to like escape out. No, I'm not doing that.
I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that, bro. Like, to me, how suspicious this is, bro. Me, the Hittite, out of all the people, I might be the best fighter, but I probably ain't. We still got Joab. We still have all type of people up there, right? You calling me, you bringing me food, you telling me go home to lie with my wife, bro.
Exactly.
Like I don't think he come out and say lie with your wife, because that would be too suspicious. But like, what's the name?
He asked the next morning, though. He just said, go home and go
Right. But like initially, he just was like, yeah, go home, and he sent food. You feel me? Like, why you
doing all this?
I remember when I first came on the job, one of like my bosses, like one of the high execs had breakfast with me when I was a new hire, right? And the whole time I ordered something that I didn't really like, but I know it's clean, it's like neat to eat, and I was so nervous because I'm like, bro, this dude trying to press me to see if I smart enough to be on this job. Like, I was only on the job for like 2 weeks. I'm like, bro, what my boss want to meet with me for? You feel me? But like, as a part of the culture, they just try to get to know everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I could go on to do great things. Like, you're gonna want to know everybody and see how to utilize people's talents, and that was admirable of him. But I couldn't enjoy that. Like, I was so nervous. He was trying to get to know me, but I was just like, bro, I don't know if this is a trap. You know, I don't know if this is set up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I too suspicious. You feel me? So I just like, I ain't picking out this and that. I actually went to work unfulfilled with that whole breakfast, because I was like, I couldn't really enjoy it, bro, because this big, I can't be myself, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Because you there. And worse if it's a king.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, for all I know, it might be something bad I do.
Why you have me here?
Why you have me here?
And you know? The thing is, you're right, I was just saying this might be a setup.
Yeah,
but I do like his response to, like, hold on, King, like, all the people I with, they in the fields. I can't do this thing by just staying here. Like, this just don't sit right with me, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then so, David, I can see David say, all right, I can fix your business.
Yeah.
I'm done with this.
Yeah, you think you getting away.
And so David said to Uriah, oh, okay. And then David said to Uriah, wait here today, and also tomorrow, and I will let you depart. So Uriah remained in Jerusalem that day and the next day. And so now we see David trying to say, okay, stay here 2 more days then, hoping he would go home to see his wife. And I do appreciate, I do admire Uriah's like self-control too. Because naturally, but yeah, I've been out to war. Who knows how long you've been out to war? We just know last chapter they've been doing this war with the Ammonites, right?
But who knows if you could die next time you go out to war and thing, bro. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, why you wouldn't go and see your wife, bro? Like,
Little does he know.
Boy, now that's crazy, because I didn't even think about that. But like, to your point though, like I have a duty to the country that I fight for. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and I am not deflecting from that. But like the mindset, bro, like we locked in, bro. Like when athletes in the playoffs, some athletes, they don't watch TV, they don't do nothing. They just
They don't talk to their family or nothing.
No, they don't talk to their family at night and like after the game stuff, because you could distract me, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And Uriah was in war mode, bro. I can't be out there slipping, bro. I can't, like, if I go lie with my wife, I could be relaxed and then I can be on top of my game, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Feeling a little too good.
And then people might clown me if they find out I was out living the life and thing like that. They could be jealous and
you wait for the cause.
No, I ain't doing that.
So, in the evening when sorry. And the evening went down off to lay in his bed, and the servants of the Lord, but he did not go. In the morning when it happened, he wrote a letter to, I think I went down too far. Okay, so in verse 13, now David called him. He ate and drank before him, and he made him drunk. At the evening he went out and to lay in his bed with the servants of his Lord, but did not go down to his house. So we see David even try to do an exploit. David tried to get him drunk, hoping he'd be feeling so good to go to lay with his wife. Yeah. He still say, nope, I'm going to lay right here with the servants on the floor until it's time for me to go back. I'm not going home to lay with my wife.
Nope. David get him drunk, bro. And so David is moving like a very desperate man right now. Like,
quite literally. Like he doing everything in his power to cover up sin. And it's like, stories like this in the Bible, bro. Where you going out your way to sin, like you disgracefully sin. And everything that could go wrong is going wrong, bro. Like, quite literally.
Like, bro, Why she have to get pregnant, bro? Why the man didn't want to lay with his wife? You understand what I'm saying? Why he get drunk and still ain't, you see, you feel me? Like, everything that can go wrong is going wrong, and it just go to show, bro. Like, bro, we ain't in control, bro. We ain't
Exactly.
but the only person who can help you out of this is God. But you ain't seeking God.
Because you're too ashamed to go to seek God because you know you're already wrong.
That's a fact, but anyway, we can get there. We can get there. Yeah.
So, but my thing is, I just saw what this because like I was thinking the same thing. Like all this time, you should have gone already, repent to God, and just try to own up to it.
Right.
You already know the prophet Nathan there or whatever. You go say, Nathan, bro, I really messed up this time, something like that. What you're gonna get to in a bit, but it's like you trying to cover up your sin to try to hide your shame and your guilt, but in doing so, you have to sin even more. And that's funny how sin works. That's how the devil kind of gets in this loop.
Yep.
Because like it's funny. Like if you tell a lie, you gotta lie about 10 more times to cover up that original lie.
Yep.
And then if you steal, you gotta lie about stealing. Someone find out that you get to the fight or something, you might have to kill somebody. We seeing it's gonna escalate, but that's just how sin. That's just how sin goes. When you're guilty and ashamed, you're trying to hide it. You have to do more stuff to cover it up, and all that stuff is probably even more sinful than just tell the truth and own up to God.
Yeah, and like I'm not talking from a perspective of this being easy or that I would have been any better than David. You know what I'm saying? Like, by the grace of God, I have examples like David to remind me not to even get in these situations to think that I could. See, because my thing is, you made a conscious decision to get into this problem, right? But in your mind, you probably figure, if anything was to go bad, I can handle this, bro. I got everything under control. Now, this is the worst scenario that happened, and you like, I can handle this, bro. I can handle this. You know what I'm saying? But we now have stories like David and everyone in the Bible to show us how weak and how prone to sin every person is. You know, but David just getting started with this.
Right, he just getting started. So now, in the morning, in verse 14, in the morning it happened that David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote a letter saying, set Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle and retreat from him, that he may be struck down and die. So it was while Joab besieged the city that he assigned Uriah to a place where he knew there were valiant men. Then the men of the city came out and fought with Joab, and some of the people of the servants of David fell also, and Uriah the Hittite also died. Then Joab sent and told David all the things concerning the war, and charged the messenger, saying, when you have finished telling the matters of the war to the king, if it happens that the king wrath rises, and he says to you, why do you approach so near to the city you fought? Did you not know that they would shoot from the wall who struck Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal? Was it not the woman who cast this story is so funny to me, thinking back to it. Who cast off a piece of the millstone on him from the wall so that he died in Thebez? Why did you go near the wall? Then you shall say, your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also.
All right, so I don't know what to make of this, bro, because like, obviously you ain't trying to have men die in a war, right? So Joab sending this messenger saying, bro, tell the king that, you know, we lost some men. And then when he get mad, tell him X, Y, Z. But I'm like, bro, why you getting mad, number one? And number two, like, why the resolve is that, all right, Uriah the Hittite also died. Like, that should make him happy, right?
Because, I think what it is, right? One, we see, even before that, right? We see David giving this order that send Uriah out, pull back from him, and just leave him to do that by himself.
Yes.
That's easy to say. Joab is the field general now. I actually got to implement this. So think about it. First of all, just think about Joab getting this letter like, bro, something's up. But there's an order from the king. I have to do it, right? But the funny thing about it is now, since your king ain't even operating from God right now, this is an order you didn't really have to follow because there's nothing righteous about this order.
Fox.
But now going to that, Joab got to figure out a way. Because here's the thing. If you was soldiers in combat, you are trained to leave no man behind.
That's a fact.
So I can't give the order outright to say, leave him. But what I could do is send y'all, who are some of my best warriors, to go over here knowing that it ain't going to be good for y'all because I ain't really sending in no reinforcements. So now Joab got to give a report to why these people died. That's the thing about it. And because I would do something that's pretty stupid to cover it up.
Right.
And so go.
You have to do something stupid to cover it up, right? But that's the only way for David to get his way. So why you mad, bro?
Because David give a different order. David just say, send him and fall back. You Joab saying, bro, I got to do this in such a way where I can still keep my authority, integrity on this field. So now I have to sacrifice some more people. That's what I'm David, because David's a war man too. Mm-hmm. David had a report saying, bro, why y'all do this? That's dumb.
Yeah.
That's literally dumb. Why y'all doing that? And so Joab, because Joab know this stupid.
Right.
But my soldiers can follow me just because whatever. Joab saying this stupid, so Joab saying, guess what? Tell him all of this. He could say this stupid and he could be mad. At the end, to have some comfort, so Uriah there too.
Right.
Because think about it, only Joab know the order. Only Joab know the order from David. Mm-hmm. So now he's saying, okay, to put the icing on the cake, tell him what happened. He is going to be mad, but tell him Uriah died too.
Right, and so a part of the reason why I wonder why is this how y'all doing it? Because you have to send this with a messenger, right? And so I'm like, this a paper trail. You remember? Yeah,
clearly.
Right, because you and me.
Last thousands of years.
Yeah, true. You remember we was talking about if people knew what had happened, like the whole shebang. But it's like Uriah have to send this message with a messenger who telling the king mad, but now he less mad because I'm sorry, Joab. He less mad because Uriah is dead now. So now even the messenger can know this dude was happy there. You understand what I'm saying?
Joab could have write a letter though.
Yeah, he could have write a letter.
He could have followed David's footsteps to just write a letter.
Yeah, for real.
Uriah say, nah, bro. I think Uriah was a little salty too. What happened too? Because now, one, you are making me look bad, right? He's a war man. So think about it. The rest of the army, no, bro. That order was stupid. Yeah. You set them up.
Yes, but I think that Joab was also forced. David just being forceful this episode, bro.
Yeah, David is swinging around his power.
Right, but let me tell you why I say that. Yeah, pause. But let me tell you why I say that, bro. Because Joab have shame on his jacket already, bro. Like, shame already. He's already shame. You see what I'm saying? Because of him killing. I can't, but names just slipping my mind today, bro. Like,
I know you mean though the
yeah,
King Saul's
Ishbosheth, Abner, right? Dang. Abner. Remember he killed Abner in a despiteful way, right? In a spiteful way.
Kind of deceitful, yeah.
Despisable way is what I think about. I off my rhythm, but I can get it back right now. But so watch this. So Joab of the shame, David curse him, all type of thing, right? Now David coming to Joab like, bro, I need you to be despicable again. You understand what I'm saying? You feel me? And Joab, who know that I already was in bad books for this man.
I didn't try to repent for my sins, man. You try to bring it back out of me?
Try to bring it back, and I feel like it's intentional why he go on this route. You feel me? Because he had plenty of ways he could have get Uriah killed. You know what I mean? But I think he go on to Joab like, bro, you still have a job in my army, and you know what I mean? Like, and we know what you do, and I never punish you for that. I curse you when I let God deal with that, but I never punish you because I could have put you to death for that. You feel me? I do you solid. Do this thing for me. And now Joab acquiesced him, and he had to do that. Because who would do that, bro? Like, the morale of the fight, you are going to lose that fight. Because everybody just see their boy get killed. And it's almost as if our general make us get our boy killed, but they don't have no evidence to prove that. But the way you acted, it's like you wanted us to get killed because that was dumb, you know?
Pretty dumb. And so now, the messengers went and came and told David all that Joab said to him. And the messenger said to David, surely the men prevailed against us and came out at us in the field, and we drove them back as far as the entrance of the gate. The archers shot from the wall at your servants, and some of the king's servants are dead, and your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also. And David said to the messenger, thus you shall say to Joab, do not let this thing displease you, for the sword devours one as well as another. Strengthen your attack against the city and overthrow it. So encourage him. When the wife of Uriah heard that Uriah's husband was dead, she mourned for her husband. And when her mourning was over, David sent and brought her into his house, and she became his wife and bore him a son. But the thing that David had done displeased the Lord.
Fox. And so, Joab don't know that David was being a nasty man. You know, like David, like, bro, man dying, that's the least of my problems right now. You feel me? Because, like, Joab thinking he could be mad that Joab lose this fight because Joab know David. They family. They've been together from since David was in his time of trouble. You know what I mean? David was like, tell him, brother, sword devours one as well as the other. You know, easy come, easy go.
It's so funny, like... It's so funny. The time when you should have been angry, you already hit. Like, you think about Dave probably was saying, like, this is dumb. What y'all doing? Oh, you rioted? Ah, okay. So you accomplished that mission. All is well with me. My sins have been covered up. I can blot this out. No one's gonna know but this. Or even if they know, ain't no matter because he dead now. So ain't really no real repercussions coming to me, and I'm the king.
Right. It's only me and Bathsheba. So it's only me and Bathsheba who know. You know what I mean? And my subjects, they can't do nothing. Y'all don't have no proof. Y'all don't have X, Y, Z. You know. And so David, from a human perspective, his problems are done, bro. David, he get in and out of that from the human perspective. But how to chop the hand?
But this thing he had done displeased the Lord.
Displeased the Lord.
It just goes to show, bro, like, bro, you could sin in the dark. Ain't no one gonna know.
Nope.
And you could do as much you want to do to try to cover it up, but God still was like, yeah, okay, David, I see you.
I see you, bro.
This whole chapter when you want to talk to me, I see you.
I see you. And so to correct myself, how I started the part, we were saying Psalms 31 and Psalms 51. And there, if you read in the King James Version, they have a message that says that this was when David had met with Nathan the prophet, which we're going to get into momentarily.
Right now.
Yeah.
So in chapter 12, verse 1, then the Lord sent Nathan to David, and he came to him and said to him, there were two men in one city, one rich and the other poor. The rich man had exceedingly many flocks and herds, but the poor man had nothing except one little ewe lamb, which he had brought and nourished, and he grew it up together with him and with his children. It ate of his own food and drank of his own cup, and it lay in his bosom. And it was like a daughter to him. And a traveler came to the rich man, who refused to take from his own flock and from his own herd to prepare one for the wayfaring man who had come to him. But he took the poor man's lamb and prepared it for the man who had come to him. So David's anger was greatly aroused against the man, and he said to Nathan, as the Lord lives, the man who has done this thing shall surely die, and he shall restore fourfold for the lamb, because he did this thing and because he had no pity. Then Nathan said to David, you are the man.
Ooh.
But I love Nathan's approach.
Yeah, I do too.
I love Nathan's approach because it's one thing to outright accuse him, right? Because he say, naturally, bro, I know David. And it's like when you corner a snake, what the snake gonna do? Lunge out.
Yeah, they gotta talk.
So Nathan say, all right, I could come speaking a parable to you, essentially.
Yep.
I could come tell you a story because at the end of the day, bro, you still a righteous man even though you fumble. And so I could let you pronounce your own sentence.
Yep.
And just for the people context out there, right? With David, David committing adultery was actually punishable by death.
Yes.
By death. So the king committed a sin, punishable by death. And now we see why he was going through such lengths to cover this up. Because this was like a grievous sin that he did.
But you mind getting into that for a little bit though?
Let's go for it.
So, all right. That's what and that's the point too. Why we could say David was desperate. You might just say David was just cold-blooded. And to some degree, I do believe he's being cold-blooded because Nathan said,
Nathan said he had no pity.
Nathan said that, yeah. Because you had no pity.
No pity.
You are the man who had no pity. You know what I'm saying? Uriah ain't do nothing to you, bro. Uriah had his one wife. You got your many wives.
Literally, bro.
Yeah.
Many.
You have many wives, bro. Like no joke, bro. You have many. He had his one wife. She catch your eye. You understand what I'm saying? But we know Abigail beautiful, bro. It ain't like you saying, man, I ain't have no beautiful women, man. I just wanted a chance to have, bro. You have beautiful women, bro. Like straight up, bro. And you take this man wife, you impregnate her, you try to get him to cover up this thing. Bro, you know how traumatic that is, bro? Like, imagine one day you find out, bro. And you know how mad you could be, bro? Like 5 years, 1 year, 20 years, I was taking care of another man's child, bro.
The child born and you ain't like,
Like,
The child don't look like me. Don't
the
look like
child,
you either.
bro, for real, bro.
This
Like,
child kind of looks like King David.
right, right. Like, what are the odds? You know what I mean? Like, this, bro. If Uriah wanted to, he could make a claim to have David killed. He could make a strong claim.
He could spark up a riot.
He could spark up insurrection. He could spark up a riot. And all of this could lead to people distrusting David. You understand what I'm saying? This could lead to David losing his throne by death or by being overthrown. And it might seem like a joke, but no. Because you got to understand Jerusalem, right? God was their king among the Israelites until they had a king, right? And the king is to serve the Lord and read the Torah, or, you know, in Deuteronomy, they say all that, right? David is a man after God's own heart. They have the moral laws and they have the 10 commandments. The moral law is the 10 commandments. They have the Mosaic laws and then they have the 10 commandments. The Mosaic laws would be equivalent to our everyday civil laws, like driving and all of this and that and the third. That was their laws, bro. So by law, the law of the land was the Torah. You understand? And if you rape somebody's wife, punishable by death.
Just sleep with someone's wife. It's the same difference.
You're punishable by death. But if they commit adultery, punishable by death. All of that. You understand what I'm saying? That is the law, bro. And you are not above the law because you are not above God, bro.
Exactly.
And God is the one who making this law, you know. And this is where the law backed by God. And so that's why David was so like adamant on killing Uriah, bro. If I can't get him to think this child is him, I have to kill him, because if I don't, I am going to die.
And it even goes back to the shame and guilt Pop was talking about earlier, because again, why wasn't he talking to God? Because he know what he does is wrong. And if I go to God, what is my sentence? Death. I already know this. Right. So it's like, if I could cover it up, maybe God ain't watching type thing, is what David was trying to process in his mind, which was very wrong. But again, I like Nathan's delivery, because again, I ain't gonna back you into a corner. I gonna say something where I know gonna rouse up the moral side of you, and you have to think logically now. And now when I say it's you, everything's exposed, because then here's the thing: you already pronounced the sentence of death upon this man, and now what you gonna say? You are the man, and you know what you did.
Now what you could say, bro? Like, you say what the punishment have to be.
Thus says the Lord God of Israel, I anointed you king over Israel, and I delivered you from the hand of Saul. I gave you your master's house and your master's wives into your keeping, and gave you the house of Israel and Judah. And if that had been too little, I would have also given you much more. Why have you despised the commandment of the Lord and do evil in his sight? You have killed Uriah the Hittite. With the sword, you have taken his wife to be your wife, and have killed him with the sword of the people of Ammon. Now therefore, the sword shall never depart from your house, because you have despised me. And it's so funny, we're going to get into this in the next coming episodes. We're going to really see how David's kingdom got turned upside down from this point.
The man ain't no peace after that, bro. and it's so funny, because one false move in life, bro, could really change your whole life, bro. Like,
whole trajectory.
Like looking at Jacob. Bro, one stealing of a birthright, bro, you ain't got no peace for the rest of your life.
No peace.
That's crazy.
Because you have despised me, and you have taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your wife. Thus says the Lord, behold, I will raise up adversity against you from your own house, which we see will happen. And I will take your wives before your eyes and give them to your neighbor. And he shall lie with your wives in the sight of this son. For you did it secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel, before the sun. And so we see God said, okay, yeah, I saw you operating in secret. But now, since you want to operate in secret, I personally will bring it all to light. All of Israel will see you fall. All of Israel will see your kingdom slowly diminish because of what you did. And not even really because of what you did, but because you also tried to hide it from me and not come to me sooner.
But this is about to be a powerful line right here, bro.
So David said this to Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said to David, the Lord also has put away your sin, for you shall not die. However, because by the deed you have given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme, the child also who was born to you shall surely die. Then Nathan departed his house.
These two very monumental texts, bro. One, the Lord has put away your sin. You shall not die, bro. Because one of the truths that we have said on this podcast many times, you cannot out-sin God's love. You cannot. You understand? And this to everybody. This to people who in this situation. This to the Davids in this situation.
It's funny how, because I kind of we started the podcast too, saying like His grace and His love is sufficient.
Sufficient, bro. I thought that's what you was. I thought you was. You know what I mean? Because I was like, yeah, that's really applicable. You feel me? Like no cap. And bro, if you the villain, the victim, you understand what I'm saying? You did a lot of stuff in your life. If it was a time and you just was going through stuff and you just was hurting people because you was hurt, all of that. You gonna carry on. You gonna carry a shame and a sense of guilt in your heart as if, bro, you are too damaged to be loved. You are too damaged to be of any value. But that's not how God sees it. Even in the midst of God punishing David, God is giving David the work right now. Like God is telling him like it is. But He's still showing him grace and mercy. David, if it was up to David, that person was going to get killed. Because righteously, that's what should happen.
Yep.
By law, this person should get killed. You're supposed to die, bro. But God, in His grace and mercy, shows us love, bro. And we talk about it, bro. Mercy is when we receive, is when we don't receive
what you deserve.
What you deserve. You understand what I'm saying? I deserve to be in jail, but God. You understand what I'm saying? I deserve to get an F on this test, but God. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, bro. Like, and that's prime time grace and mercy. Now, the second thing I wanted to say, I don't know if you want to
go for it. I got something else to say, but go for it. I want to get your point out while it's still fresh.
Because by this deed you have given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme. Remember in the our story episode, I was talking about, man, I didn't want to be no pastor because I want to be responsible for people. I want to misrepresent God. No, bro. If you a Christian, bro, if you represent Christ and you out here acting crazy, it don't matter if you was a pastor or not. You misrepresenting God. Because David was the face of what godly people should be like to many people. His actions lead other people to devalue God, lead other people to blaspheme against God.
And it's really because, just to keep on this train of thought, because David operated how anyone else who wasn't connected or had no connection to God would have operated in that situation. So now they're saying, okay, if someone who's so close to you operate like this, like that's how I should act. You know what I'm saying? So like David opened the gateway. And we still have people use David, David do this, and I was a man after God's own heart, right? And then and going back up to the first point, is the Lord has put away your sin. You know what's so funny? Right after David said, I have sinned against the Lord, admitted his sin, accepted guilt for it, and not tried to hide from the Lord, what happened immediately right after? The Lord has put away your sin. It just shows the forgiveness and greatness of God is immediate. It's immediate. Yes, you sin. But God say, I will forgive you as long as you are sincere in your apology. Immediately after, his sin was forgiven. So imagine if David had lusted. Gone to Nathan and say, late night lust, bro.
Thank you.
The Lord put away your sin.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Lord put away your sin. Don't walk on this. Dave, I sleep with Bathsheba. She have a son. She about to get pregnant. Nathan, they really messed up. All right, David. There's gonna have some applications for your actions. But the Lord put away your sin. We gonna see what the Lord say about this. I don't get granted because I literally can't say what would happen.
Yeah, and this the thing. David used to see before David had like a specific prophet around him. David used to inquire of the Lord too. Himself. You feel me? Like David could have just prostrate himself before God and say, Lord, forgive me. You understand what I'm saying? Forgive my transgressions. You know, like we have that option. Everybody listening, everybody watching, we have that option.
To go to God for yourself.
To go to God for yourself with a contrite heart. You understand what I'm saying? And the Lord is faithful and just to forgive. God says that these things I blot out from my mind for my sake. God said like, I just forget this because if I remember this, I can get mad. You understand? You feel me? For my sake, just how you repent I am going to forgive you and I am going to forget about this. So this is as if it has never happened. And as human beings, it's hard for us to forgive ourselves. But if God forgive you, you can let that guilt go.
Exactly. And so, the last part of what Nathan said, the child also was born to you shall surely die. And so that's the thing. So David was spared from the curse of sin and from what was happening, right? The child was not spared. Because the Lord say, okay, I can spare you, but I can't spare you from all the consequences of sin because you're already so far deep in this. You're going to have to feel something. Like our friend said, there's going to be some serious ramifications for your actions, right? And so now we see, arguably this might have hurt David even more because now you have to live with the guilt that knowing that, hey, this child is going to die in your stead because of what you did and because you didn't come to God. And so reading from this would still be verse 15. And the Lord struck the child that Uriah's wife bore to David and became ill. David therefore pleaded with God for the child, and David fasted and went in and lay all night on the ground. So the elders of his house arose and went to him to raise him from the ground, but he would not, nor would he eat food with them. Then on the 7th day it came to pass that the child died. And the servants of David were afraid to tell him that the child was dead, for they said, indeed, while the child was alive, we spoke to him, and he had not heard our voice. How can we tell him the child is dead? He may do some harm. They were scared for him. They were scared for him.
Really?
So when David saw the servants were whispering, David perceived that the child was dead. Therefore David said to the servants, is the child dead? And they said, yes, he is dead. So David arose from the ground, washed and anointed himself, and changed his clothes, and went into the house of the Lord and worshipped. And then he went to his own house. And when he requested that they set food before him, he ate. Then his servant said to him, what is that you have done? You fasted and wept for the child while he was alive, but when the child died, you arose and ate food. And he said, while the child was alive, I fasted and wept, for I said, who can tell whether the Lord will be gracious to me, that the child may live? But now the child is dead, why should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I shall go to him, but he shall not return to me. I'm going to just try to finish the chapter and we can talk about it. Then David comforted Bathsheba, his wife, and went into her and lay with her. So she bore a son, and he called his son named Solomon. Hint, hint. Now the Lord loved him and sent word by the hand of Nathan the prophet. So he called his name Jedediah because of the Lord. And then in verse 26, he just gets back into some of the fighting. So now Joab fought against Rabbah and the people of Ammon and took the royal city. And Joab sent messengers to David and said, I have fought against Rabbah and have taken the city's water supply. Now therefore gather the rest of the people together and encamp against the city and take it, lest I take the city and it be called after my name. So David gathered all the people together and went to Rabbah, fought against it and took it. And he took their king's crown from his head. Its weight was a talent of gold with precious stones, and it was set on David's head. Also he brought out the spoil of the city in great abundance, and he brought out the people who were in it, and put them to work with saws and iron picks and iron axes, and made them cross over to the brick works. So he did to all the cities of the people of Ammon. Then David and all the people returned to Jerusalem.
Amen. And so, back to your point about ramifications, right? It's like there are consequences for our actions.
There are. Yep.
And the consequences could exceed you and I. This could impact plenty of people. So because David was lusty, Uriah died. Because David was lusty, men in his army died.
Yeah.
Because of your sin.
Your sin has a far outstretched reaching consequences that you can't even quantify in the moment because you don't know how far reaching it's going to be.
Exactly.
I mean, think about it. David saw Bathsheba on a rooftop, and he didn't envision people are going to have to die for this. People are going to have to die for what I see.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? So it's so far reaching. Like when you actually in it, you don't even know what's actually going to happen from this action. But in the moment, you can't see it.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to get on David right now, right? But bro, I mean, like we've been there so much time, like right, this ain't right at all, right? But it's like, man, I want this, so I'm gonna do this. I know what's so funny. some of the times when you in sin, but you say, but whatever happens, happens, right?
Yeah,
I could just deal with it when it comes.
Right.
So think about it. You the king, bro. If anybody can say this in the city, it's you. Not saying it's right, but it's you. Because you saying, but whatever happens from this point can happen, I just could deal with it. But I the king, but I can't deal with it.
And then when you really think about it, though, you're the king, but you're the Israelite king, right? So you essentially supposed to be the definition of what a king should be, because God shows us how a king should be. Should not have many wives. Like, I don't want to keep driving this point, right? But you can see why a king should have discipline. Any man should have discipline in this area. Because you lusty, people gotta die.
But I really think it was because, here's the thing, David already opened up himself to these type of lusts. Because it wasn't like he only had one wife already.
Right.
So again, it's like, man, it's nothing for me to get another wife because I already have 5.
Yes. And then you are the king, right? So we keep saying you are the king, but I can speak for myself. The only example of a king that I know are secular kings who don't care about God at all. That's what I see on TV. Even the kings who are Christian kings on TV, this during a time when it was very little light.
Because he was the king still,
right,
like...
You feel me? And so, like, these people, they do whatever they want. They take anybody girl, bro. Like, probably Hanan, he probably take anybody girl without caring. That's me speculating, though. We don't know that. You understand?
I
But
reasonably think that it'll be very true.
yes, bro. Like, this is the king. Like,
And they secular kings from different... These people do
child sacrifice and stuff like that. Like,
They have
taking
no
somebody
law,
girl.
really,
Right,
and truly.
exactly.
They have codes, but they don't really care.
Right. And so that's my thing. Like, you, like, they above the law, bro. They are the law, bro. It's like when you watch them medieval movies, bro. The priests, the kings is answer to the priests. And you be seeing in these shows, bro, the priests be doing all type of dirty stuff behind the scenes, bro. They stealing from people, they taking advantage of people, they doing all type of stuff, bro. But they are the law. Like, even above kings, you know what I mean? But now David is the king, but he's the Israelite king. And so you ain't, like, saying David is the king, that shouldn't mean nothing, bro. Because the king is not above the law in this scenario.
Exactly.
But if you live in a world where every king lives like that, you as a king, if you ain't dependent on God at all times, it leaves a lot of room for you to be like, I can do that, I'm the king. I can do that.
And we see that's how David was operating.
Like, legit.
And I think too is like, man, one, you already have many wives, so is you already open up yourself to this type of temptation. And then two is like, you probably going on all these different raids, and again, you're idle. So you right now, you weren't even as connected to God as you probably should be, so the devil find it easy to like come.
That's what it was, bro.
Law but temptation your way and when you're at a weak point.
Bro, we can't say that David was locked in with God doing this. The reason I'm saying this is because we don't have no evidence of David doing this before. This was the man who get guilty by cutting off piece of Saul's garment. You cut off a piece of clothes and you guilty, bro? Like, you see, like, and like, you can see, like, this man was in a different mindset right now, bro. And I remember a friend of mine, he's a theology major, and he was telling me that his highest moment was followed by his lowest moment. He had baptized people as a theology major. And then, shortly after, he found himself in a predicament that was not like his character. And he told me that his mentor tell him, bro, when you at your highest, bro, that's when the devil is trying. But like the devil see that as a very vulnerable part. You just baptize people, and now the devil like, no, I can take this moment away from you.
I think it's like, just think about it. When you're at your highest, it's easier to start saying, bro, I do this. And so your pride and your ego start creeping in. Even very subconsciously. Your pride, but when you're at the pinnacle, you're like, yeah, in the background you're saying, yeah, God bless you. But you just be like, bro, I just lead them to battle in this victory, bro. we just take down the king of Amnon. Sitting pretty good. Y'all got this. Y'all clean up. I going back to Jerusalem. Y'all don't need me here. I good.
Another thing I want to say about that, bro, when you accomplish something, right? Let's say outside of you, like, really hounding in on your involvement in this, right? Let's say let's say music again. You know what I'm saying? Let's say I just made a hit album and it's a hit, right? Even if I'm not sitting there thinking I made this, the fact that, bro, wow, I'm getting to enjoy having a hit album, right? You can be so caught up in the euphoria of a moment, bro, that you completely forget about God on a day-to-day basis because you just so caught up in that, right? So David, one of these two options. David could have been so high on his high horse that, like, because he was so victorious in battle, because I just restore Mephibosheth, you understand what I'm saying? I just do this, I do all of this, you understand? I bring the ark, and he could have been saying, I.
Yeah,
or
a bunch of success is just...
or he could have just been like he could have just been so caught up. You know, like how, man, you know, like how when like in these shows, bro, like what David tried to do with Uriah. He tried to get Uriah caught up to the point where he make a stupid decision. It's the same thing with the devil, bro. So now when Uriah was drunk or when Uriah was enjoying the food, the king loved me, the king is my boy, the king showing me a good time. He wanted that to get to Uriah's head. So Uriah would be blinded when David sneak in and cause him to be trapped in his little trick that he was trying to pull. You feel me? And so I seen it, bro. Like, it's times when even when you're doing things for God, bro, like you like that high or that just moment that you enjoying, bro. Like, you gotta still be relying on God. You gotta still be like, bro, you gotta still be cautious, because even right then and there, the devil can come sneak in and ruin that. So now, every time you think about your battle against the Ammonites, every time David think about the battle of the Ammonites, you know what he thinking about? I cost
Uriah dead.
Right, I cost Uriah dead. They might have already win like 4 battles against the Ammonites. This might have been like the nail in the casket.
The funny thing about this is just knowing the rest of the story is like, boy, David, you know too much time to be thinking about the Ammonites after this.
No.
You know too much time to be thinking about the Ammonites after this.
Real talking. And so it's like, bro, like the devil of this way are like, bro, like something bad happened with your good, bro. Every time you celebrate that good, from now on, you can just think about that bad now, bro. Bro, like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, so like that's just something to keep aware of, that we ain't good. We not good. You understand? So like, if you go on your whole life and you never kill, you go on your whole life and you really play things by the book, you can't think for a second that's because of you. You understand? Like, that ain't your doing, bro.
It ain't. What get me too, right? I really got no big point on this, right? But what, like, it just, because we ain't never focus on it. How God say, bro, even if all the things I haven't given you so far wasn't enough, I would have given you much more.
I would give you more, bro.
And I was like, bro, all you do is stay close to me. I already given you your house. I already delivered you from Saul when he was in your time with trouble. I already make you king over all of Israel. I delivered you from all the different enemies. I have given you your master's house and your master's wives. Like, bro, if this had been too little, David, if this had been too little, I would have given you much more. And we see how God gave it up with the next king after this.
For real, bro. Because he surely did receive an abundance, bro. But lastly, we do not have a lot of time. You understand? But just to give, I could just try go through it real quickly, and then we probably could end on
Go for it.
On this.
Yeah, go for it.
Psalms 51. Have mercy upon me, O God. So this is so we could understand how David, as quoted as the man after God's own heart at one point in time, this is how he was after his sin. You understand? Like, he wasn't emboldened. You feel me? Like, he do what he had to do to try to cover this thing up, and not failed tremendously, right? Epically. And now, as he repents, we get to read his mind, because he jotted this down. His dialogue with God. Psalms 51. Have mercy upon me, O God, according to your loving kindness, according to the multitude of your tender mercies. Blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is always before me. Against you only have I sinned, and done this evil in your sight, that you may be found just when you speak. I'm blameless when you judge. Behold, I brought forth iniquity, and in sin my mother conceived me. Behold, you desire truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden part. And in the hidden part, you will make me to know wisdom. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Make me hear joy and gladness, that my bones you have broken may that the bones you have broken may rejoice. Hide your face from my sins and blot out all my iniquities. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Do not cast me away from your presence, and do not take your Holy Spirit from me. Restore to me the joy of your salvation, and uphold me by your generous spirit. Then I will teach transgressors your ways, and sinners shall be converted to you. Deliver me from the guilt of bloodshed, O God, the God of my salvation, and my tongue shall sing aloud of your righteousness. O Lord, open my lips, and my mouth shall show forth your praise. For you do not desire sacrifice, or else I would give it. You do not delight in burnt offering. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart. Mercy. These, O God, you do not despise. Do good in your good pleasure to Zion. Build the walls of Jerusalem. Then you shall be pleased with the sacrifices of righteousness, with burnt offering and whole burnt offering. Then they shall offer bulls on your altar. Mercy. So even amongst all that David was doing, David was fully repentant. And he took the time to drop a gem where he said, bro, if a burnt offering, like if the auction of it, if the works was enough for you, it was what you wanted, I would do that.
It. But that ain't even nothing.
You
bro.
don't like them things.
Really and truly.
Really and truly, you know what you like? A contrite heart.
Because, I mean, really and truly, to think about it, what are the works if the heart aren't behind it? Like when someone say you could say anything, but what are you doing? What are you actually doing? You know what I'm saying? So God's saying, guess what? It's the meaning behind it. You saying you sorry, you say you want me to forgive you, like you want me to forgive you for your sins, but it's your heart. Is your heart in the right place? And that's again what we see throughout it all. Like David being a man after God's own heart. Because man, this was a low point for him. If it's his lowest, man, we could have a whole episode on trying to figure out what was David's low point when we done with when David no longer here. But to think about it, man, like, man, this is a gem. Creating me a clean heart. Just to think about all I've been through, like, all I've been trying to hide from you, like, man, because now at this point now, it's like when you release it all, you release how deep it, like you go and you have this moment of reflection. Bruh, I laid with someone who wasn't my wife. I got someone killed. And then had some other debts by default. Like, Lord, bro, like this is a lot. Like, and you forgive me, bro. I will show people about your character. I will teach them about who you are as God. But man, like, renew the spirit within me, because I know I need it, Lord. Like this person, like, I know I need to be washed anew. I need to become white as snow, because man, what I did wasn't right. But God, through your goodness, I know you want a contrite heart, and man, Lord, I'm laying it all out here for you to see. Like, I am super sorrowful about what I did. And I want others to know about the goodness and the graciousness that you've bestowed upon me, even when I should have had death. So, yeah, man, that's a gem.
It's powerful, bro. And then we could end it like this, bro. You cannot out-sin God's love. This man was racking up sins. He was lying, he was killing, you understand what I'm saying? He was committing adultery, all of that. And God still showed him grace and mercy. And this wasn't a special treatment to David. Each and every one of us are eligible for God's grace and mercy. All it takes is repentance and a contrite heart. David's affair with Bathsheba transformed into a myriad of other sins, including murder. While David was speaking to Nathan the prophet, he agreed that his sins were punishable by death and that he should pay fourfold for his actions. But because we serve a gracious God, the Lord spared David from the death penalty. But he did lose his youngest son. And because his payment was supposed to be fourfold, there are still 3 more that he will lose. But we'll talk about that on the next episode of A Breath of Fresh Air. Tonight's episode included voice acting by your hosts, Earl Roberts and Nakhaz K. Remember to go ahead and research on your own in order to get a more firm understanding of tonight's episode. And if you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. You can follow us on social media at Abreathoffreshairpod on Instagram and BOFAPOD on Twitter. Thanks everyone, and we'll see you next week.